Hello YouTubers, my name is Rachel and today I'm going to share with you how I healed my cervical dysplasia naturally. And I was diagnosed in 2017 with cervical dysplasia by a medical doctor, and I decided that I didn't really want to go the treatment route that they provide, which is basically wait to see what happens and then cut things out. So I consulted with a naturopath and a biofeedback specialist, and it took me about 7 months to heal, but I am now cancer-free. So where I started with the naturopath was she found that a household chemical was preventing me from healing, and it was the Miss Myers Basil Cleaner. And so I had to do a vial treatment, which is where you hold the chemical close to you and then you press certain meridian points on your body to flush out the toxins. And you also do some breath work with that. I think you can look that up online. It's called vial treatment. And it was a sulfate that was causing the prevention of healing. So while I did that, and that only took 2 treatments, I also did diffusing German chamomile and sandalwood essential oil while I slept for 2 weeks, about 6 hours a night. And I just purchased the Arakasha brand sandalwood off of Amazon. And I recommend getting a good source of sandalwood because there's a lot of fraudulent fragrances out there, and you want the real deal, not a fragrance. Then the next step was to do this technique called recognize, accept, and release. And it's where you write your statement on a piece of paper. And so mine was, I, Rachel, recognize, accept, and release dysplasia. And I wore this for 2 weeks, and I also slept with it. Because everything in the naturopath world is based on energy. And so the idea is that you are accepting and then releasing this energy. The next step was that I needed the raindrop technique by Young Living, and my naturopath performed that on me. And it's where they put a series of different essential oils, mostly on your spine, and it helps flush out. It's sort of like cleans the slate is how I see it, but it's really great for killing viruses and stabilizing your emotions, and there's all sorts of information out there about the benefits of the raindrop technique. And then this is where it got good, was I started taking Venus flytrap herbal extract, not the flower remedy, but the actual herbal extract. And I would just put a dropper full in my water and drink on it all day. And there's research out there saying that Venus flytrap doesn't do anything. And then there's actual footage on YouTube you can watch of how Venus flytrap affects your immune cells. And what I notice when I take it is that I'll start having this like warm sensation come over my body, kind of a slight tingling. It's almost like you're going to have a fever, but you never do. And I really felt better after I took the Venus flytrap for a while. I had to do that for 3 weeks. And also while I took that, I did Chicory. This is the bottle I got. And I had to take 2 capsules with each meal for 3 weeks. And I do some research on what exactly this does, but I found a source that said it restructures your DNA after a virus has come in and done its damage, which I think is what HPV does, is it attacks your DNA and changes you at a DNA level. So I just thought that was amazing because Chicory is sort of like ancient healing medicine. So after I did that for 3 weeks, then I started taking collagen, and it's recently just come out that cancer is now being called a disease of our collagen. And there's a fine window of when you should and shouldn't take it. So do your research, because I don't think you want to take collagen if you're at stage 4 cancer, but if you're in the early stages, that's when you want to start doing the collagen. So I took it with meals in pill form for 6 weeks, and I took 3 grams a day. And in the meantime, that was all this information I just gave you is what my naturopath gave me. But in my own research, I had found that thuja, which is cedarwood herbal extract, is known for killing HPV, warts, anything caused by HPV. So she tested that I could take that, and I took it for 4 weeks, 3 drops a day in my water. Now, it is very toxic and poisonous, so I would consult with a professional before taking it on how many drops you can handle, because when I was researching it, it causes seizures and all sorts of odd issues if you take too much. Then I started, after I cleared on the collagen, I started taking a 1/4 inch slice of fresh ginger root 1 time a day for 2 weeks. And fresh ginger root is quite hard to just eat. So I would chop it up super fine and then shove it into capsules and ingest it that way. But I think you can also add it to tea or sautés. But the idea is you don't want to destroy all the healing properties, so it's best to take it raw. And I think that taking any of the roots like turmeric, ginger, garlic, those are all really good for helping boost your immune system. I also had to take wild rose flower remedy, and this isn't the exact bottle, but this is like Bach Remedies does carry wild rose. And the reason I had to take it was for apathy regarding not having children. I've always wanted children and I don't have them. So apparently I was harboring apathy within my cervix, and we can go over that in just a little bit. But I had to do that, just a few drops, and then I worked internally on that emotion, like resolving the apathy I had regarding having children. It's a very low vibrational emotion. It's equivalent to depression. So it's important that you address your negative emotions. After that, I had to take black pepper essential oil. I did 2 drops a day in an empty capsule for 21 days. And I purchased the Arkasha brand. And I didn't really have any ill side effects. It wasn't bad. I actually think it helped me digest food better. Then I did the Recognize, Accept, and Release again for dysplasia for 21 days. And then for the last 2 things, she pulled up that I had discontent and to change it to content within my stomach. So there's a point right in here, let's see here, right here, that is your stomach point. It was number 28. And I would just sort of go like this and pound around until I found a tender spot. And then I would gently pound that with my fingers like this and think to myself, I'm content, I feel contented, I am at peace, I feel joy. And I would really try to emphasize putting that emotion there. And then the last thing was BioGeometry signatures. And I've done these before and had great success with them. And there's a book out written by the scientists who developed these biogeometry signatures. And it's full of, let's see here. It has these sort of symbols. And each symbol represents or helps a organ or a body system that you have, and it helps realign it, tonify it, cleanse it. I mean, there's a lot of information on how the signatures help. But for me, I needed to wear number 118, which looked like this, and it was for my lungs. And so I would just, like this, I would draw it on a piece of paper and then fold it up and tuck it into my pocket or my bra. Okay, and then for my body, I was also seeing a biofeedback specialist, and so she has a SCIO machine, or SCIO, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, but I would go there and it would pop up all these things like, oh, this is out of alignment, or this needs to be worked on, or you're experiencing this emotion, and I would write it all down and then go home and do my own research on how to resolve that. Because biofeedback is great in the sense that it can clear you and realign you in that session, but when you leave, of course, you start thinking all the negative thoughts or whatever is going on in your life again, and so it just brings all of that energy back. So I think it's important to continue your own work even after those type of sessions. What I had learned in the biofeedback session was that I had yin deficiency of the heart. And so I went home and did research on Chinese meridian medicine and found that that is a real thing and how to heal it. It basically pegged me exactly what I was going through emotionally, which was heartbreak, negative emotions, and hatred, of really shutting down my heart. So I feel like it was like a wake-up call for me to stop dwelling in that negativity. So I'll come back to how I address my yin. I want to continue on with the body treatments that I did. I also addressed my immune system through diet, and I read this book called The Immune System Recovery Plan. And I didn't follow it to a T, but I just sort of got the gist that you want to avoid sugar, dairy, red meat, drinking, and alcohol. You want to get a lot of rest, find peace, that sort of thing. And I really incorporated a lot more spices and herbs and vegetables into my diet. And one thing about healing the yin deficiency in my heart was eating foods that are warming, like soups, and steering away from salads and smoothies. Like, you want to eat things that make you feel at home and feel good. I also found in the yin deficiency was that I was working out too hard. I was putting a lot, my yang energy was taking a lot from my body because I was working out in these really intense weightlifting HIIT workouts. So I cut back on those and I started doing more Tai Chi and yoga, and I found a great YouTube channel that did, it's called Yochi, and they do like a combination of yoga and Tai Chi. They were great for showing me how to open up my heart again and tonify and cleanse my body. So I would do one of those videos daily, and I think that it helped quite a bit. I also implemented homemade vaginal oils. I would take melted coconut oil and put geranium, frankincense, and sandalwood oil. I did anywhere from 3 to 10 drops in about a half cup of coconut oil. And then I poured that into an ice cube tray and froze it. And it basically made these little small suppositories I could insert into my vagina at night while I was sleeping and let those oils cook in there. I also took other supplements that I had found people had success with, and I just want to mention them because I don't know if they actually helped me or not. I took beta-glucans, a mushroom formula, and an indole 3-carbinol with resveratrol, which is the cruciferous vegetables in pill form. And I'm not sure if any of those really helped me. I took them for about 3 months because, like I said, when I really started to know a difference is when I took the Venus flytrap. So, the next part I worked, all of this I did together. So I also worked on my spirit, and I didn't really have a spiritual practice prior to this cancer diagnosis. But when you get diagnosed with cancer, it's sort of like a slap across the face and your whole life changes. At least it was for me. And so I started doing a lot more meditating, and I progressed through different types of meditations, and I eventually got to a Kundalini yoga, which is intense breath work with intense meditation and different yoga postures. But it really helped me clear my mind of the negative, repetitive patterns I just couldn't seem to break. It's like the Kundalini yoga flushed it out of my nervous system. And my life has been so much smoother sailing since then. It's amazing work, and I highly recommend it. I found a website called JaiDev, JAIDEV, and you pay $25 a month for like a subscription to all these classes. And so I would just pick a class every night, and they last anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And you do this Kundalini yoga, and you learn about your spiritual self and how it's affecting your life. It was great. It was totally eye-opening, and I highly recommend it. I did that for about a month or two, and then I stopped paying for the subscription, and I just do the Kundalini yoga on my own now because I learned the techniques. I also found that in the biofeedback sessions, emotions would come up that like, oh, I was really struggling with hatred or apathy or sadness. And so in my meditation practice, I really addressed those issues, and I would always end my meditations with focusing on gratitude and feeling joy. So I incorporated other forms of healing modalities as well, like Reiki and crystal work and sound baths, dancing and art. I really focused a lot on my heart chakra and healing that. And another thing I did was vaginal work. And there's a woman online, and I found her on Instagram. She's called Viva La Vagina, and she teaches women about their cervix and the emotions that get stored there, and why we have issues and pain and imbalances vaginally. So I highly recommend checking that out, because it will teach you a lot about what you are doing to yourself and how you are creating this environment for cancer. And so I purchased this black gold obsidian wand. There's all different types of stone you can get, but the idea is that you massage around your vagina and up the vaginal canal and the cervix, and you find places that hurt or that are tight or restricted, and you just hold the wand there, and you do breath work, and you imagine flushing out the pain or the emotion. And it really helped me, because I had a lot of heartbreak, and I was storing it all down in my cervix. Another tool I used was a rose quartz yoni egg. There's all different types, sizes. Once again, do your own research on what's right for you. Let's see here. So what I had discovered in all of this was how out of control my mind was. And through the meditation and through the Kundalini yoga, I got a lot more control of my mind, and I basically reprogrammed my brain. And because my issues went all the way back to childhood and how I was conditioned by society and my parents and my lovers and on and on and on. So I used techniques like hypnosis, talk therapy. I removed situations and people from my life that weren't jiving very well. I focused on having fun, experiencing love and compassion and contentedness. I used affirmations daily, massage, and I would meditate for at least 20 minutes a day. But yeah, that's basically what I did to heal myself. And I just want to have like a full disclaimer that I am not a medical professional or a doctor. So if you have any of these techniques you want to use, I recommend consulting with a professional first, just to make sure that it's right for you, because I'm not responsible for your health or your choices. And there was one thing I forgot that I'm seeing now. I also used flower remedies. And if you don't know what those are, feel free to look them up. But I would use Bach flower remedies, and you just put a few drops in your water. I would do anywhere from 3 to 10 drops in my water and sip on it all day, and I would do that for weeks until the emotion had resolved. Chicory was one of my main ones, and that one is used for unconditional love. The label here says that it helps you let go of those you care for, allowing them to lead their own lives. Basically, obsession. Helps relieve obsession. I also found this company called Santa Barbara Quantum Health, and they had a huge variety of flower remedies that come in singles or they have blends. And so I took Bleeding Heart for heartbreak. I did Mountain Mahogany to help me connect with my spirit. I don't know if you can see that. And they also had a couple blends that I tried. One was called Forgiveness, and another one is Ego Less 1. They had quite a few of the ego ones, but I just started out with number 1. And what's interesting about the flower remedies when you take them is they can help you recognize the emotion, and it will sort of stir it up and you can release it. Or you may have really crazy dreams. That usually happens for me, and then it just sort of dissipates and goes away. So yeah, I just want you to know there is hope out there for you if you have cervical cancer. And do your research, look within and keep digging, and really address yourself from an emotional, mental standpoint, because you are responsible for what you're creating within. And your body is just a reflection of what's going on up here and in here. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you would like, and I'll try to answer your questions if I can. Thank you.